Welcome to Layla Lynn TV, the channel for celebrity news and entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified of every new episode. Alright, you guys, in case you missed it, earlier this past week, both Dr. Gregory Lunsford and his alleged mistress, Jamie Presley, did interviews on an Atlanta radio station. So in this video, we're going to get into both of their interviews and both of their sides of the story because they do conflict, and we're going to see who's telling the truth and who's not. Let's get started.
Well, like I say with my patients, let's start with the problem. The problem is I feel like I'm being misrepresented. I feel like I'm being portrayed in a way that's not true and definitely not consistent with my character. And so for the people that love me, I'm going to defend myself because there are people who feel that this isn't fair and they're hurt by it. And they want it to stop. So I'm here to talk. Most of the time since I've been married to Quad,
you weren't having sex.
We were not having sex.
Exactly. Okay.
And that was very embarrassing to say because, I mean, people always looked at us and the running joke was, why is she with, she's so fine and you're this doctor and everything like that. And I never saw it that way. But at the same time, who's willing to say in front of all these people that, your wife isn't having sex with you. You're doing all this stuff, you're paying all the bills, you help put her on this platform and she's in the other room. I mean, we hid all this, right. And it was very embarrassing. And so that was a huge part of why I did what I did, but I still knew better, and I mean, it was still stupid, and that's why I didn't follow through with it, but I could tell you how it happened. So one of my buddies was in town, and this was a friend from high school, and I hadn't been out in a while, and when you have friends that come way back, they touch something inside of you, this joy inside of you, and we were having an epic night. We went out to a little spot, and he went out and he started talking to this girl, and she had a friend, and I told a friend that I was married, and they said fine, we just partying, we kicking it.
All right, so let's pause right here. Dr. G says that him and his friend told the two women that they were both married and that the women said that it was okay, don't worry about it, we just kicking it. Let's see what the alleged mistress has to say about that.
I met him after the club, and we all decided to go to a restaurant called R. Thomas. And when I was at the restaurant, I asked him, that was one of the first questions I asked him. I said, "Are you married?" He said no. And my homegirl didn't know his friend was married either. So that was a complete lie.
So was he not wearing a wedding band?
No, neither of them. Neither.
And so it wasn't that night, it was the next night when they were like, oh, do you want to come back out? And I'm like, no, I'm in bed, but they talked me into coming back out. So I went to his hotel where he and the two girls were met us, and we went out again to another spot, and we were out kicking it. And so then to finish the night off, we went back to his hotel, laughing, talking, da-da-da, and I got super stupid, thought I was somebody I wasn't. I had a cape on, I was about to fly, I was about to be super player. And then when I got up there, I was like, let's go back to Clark Kent. I was like, no, let's not do this. This isn't us.
All right, so let's pause again. You know how sometimes you can tell somebody is lying by the terminology they use, the phrases, and how he says this isn't us? Why would he say this isn't us, referring to him and the alleged mistress, when they don't really have a history to say this isn't us? It seems odd that he would use that phrase, and it makes it seem like he's lying.
So what happened the second night?
After we left the club, we went back. He asked me, did I want to go to the hotel? I said, sure. And we get in the room, and foreplay is happening.
No, how did you get to the hotel room? Was the room already purchased, or y'all went to the front desk?
No, he went to the front desk and got the room.
And you went up to the room?
Yes.
And then what happened?
And then, talking, kissing, foreplay, oral sex. And then he proceeds to get on top of me without a condom. And I said, no, where's your condom? And he said, I don't have one. Again, proceeds to get on me, put it in without a condom. I said, no, you have to get a condom. And then he said, let me text my friend and ask him, does he have a condom? His friend replied, no. So I said, can you run down the street to the store and get a condom? He said, yes. 10, 15 minutes after he left, he texted me and said, you know what, I'm just going to go home. You enjoy the room, and I'll see you another day.
Wanda?
I'm just listening, you know. I mean, he came in and act like none of this stuff took place. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. You say you didn't know anything about the show.
No, I never
You
watched
never
the
heard
show.
of Married to Medicine?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
So your posse didn't say, girl, that's Greg from Married to Medicine. You knew.
No. Me and my other friend, we knew he looked familiar, but we didn't know where we knew him from. So she didn't watch the show either.
So y'all didn't know nothing about
I didn't know he was
Quad,
a doctor. I didn't know nothing about Quad. I don't watch the show.
So how did it come to pass that you asked him for money?
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
So how did
next-
your name even get mixed up in all this?
Well, the next morning, the bill came under the door, and I found out his last name.
Wow.
And I Googled him. That's how I found out who he was. Never knew he was a doctor. Never knew he was on a show. I saw all that when I Googled him.
So did he tell you who he was before you went up to the room?
No, he just said his name was Gregory. He didn't say no occupation, none of that.
So you was just hanging out with a
Yeah.
guy named Gregory.
Yeah.
So the next day when you wake up, you see it's Gregory Lunceford. So you Google
Yes.
him the next day.
Yes.
Not the first day before you had sex. Like
He
you didn't
tell
care
me his
who he
last
was the
name
first
was
day.
Lunceford.
But you see how that sounds, right?
Yeah.
You take a guy to the room, you have no idea who he is. You're having
And you're having
unprotected
sex
oral
with
sex
him.
with him, and you don't even know who he is. But you came to
Yeah.
your senses afterwards and then Googled his name.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you Googled his name, found out who he was. And then what happened?
Is he?
I saw he was married. I was disgusted. How are you trying to have unprotected sex with me the night before, and you're going to leave me and go home to your wife?
Okay.
And
So then what did you do?
I got on, I found his wife's Instagram. I got on her Instagram and I told her what had happened.
Why did you do that?
Because it's disgusting to me to, even though I made a decision to possibly have a one-night stand with somebody, this guy was going to try to have unprotected sex with me, then go home to his wife. I feel like she should know.
And she did let Quad know, and now Quad and Dr. G are in an ugly divorce.
I know you have your attorney here. I just have a question. You can get divorced easily, or you can get divorced difficult. Why is it so difficult? If you both don't want it, why is it so difficult? Is it something that she wants that you're fighting for? Does she want like half your money and you fight? Why is it so difficult? Why can't you just go in there and say, hey, it ain't working out?
It's difficult because she wants money. I mean, and I don't understand why she wants money, because every dime she ever made from the show, I let her keep.
Wow.
I have no idea how much money she has, what she does with her money. I've never asked her, and this is why.
It seems so strange to me that Dr. Gregory would claim that Quad is the one that wants money in the divorce when he's the one that's actually been in the news for requesting spousal support from her.
I just want to say this, you know, it would be one thing if she was saying all these things about me on the show, but she's going outside of the show
Right.
and saying things about me, and I never had a platform to defend myself, and so that's why I decided to come here to defend my honor and to say to the world that, listen, I am a person who has always advocated their marriage. I didn't give up. And at this point, I just don't feel like we are in the same place, in the right place. And, you know, when you're on a TV show, the public, they pull for you. I mean, there are people out there pulling for us as a couple, and
Right.
But
it seems like your team, the women on the show like you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
And did you guys go to church? Did y'all? Were you a part of? Did y'all bring God into the marriage?
she never went to church with me. I asked her to go to church, and she wouldn't come.
Something that we haven't touched on today that I think answer a lot of questions why Gregory and Quad went sleeping together. You made reference to the size of his package.
Very, very small. So of course she probably didn't want to have sex with him. So hey,
But
How
you were-
small? What? I'm just kidding.
But you were willing to have sex with him, although it was small, and if he had a condom, you was willing to do that.
listen, she was willing to marry him.
All right, y'all, leave a comment and let me know what you think. Who was telling the truth and who was not? As always, thanks for watching.